You know, if you asked me about 2 weeks ago how far I would have gotten in Boggy Bottom, I probably would have told you I would have given up on it by now. But no, it's just really, really inspiring just to see how far a project has come. And you know what? I often find myself taking time in between episodes just to check out this zoo, and I figured I might as well do a video of it with you guys and kind of talk about all the stuff that's changed in between episodes and kind of talk about where we're going to take the zoo in the future. But as you guys can see from our blueprint over here, well, footprint rather, we're about halfway through the zoo, and we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different habitats to do. And that'll all come relatively soon. But I just wanted to take a moment. It's right after the dingo episode. Hopefully we get that out after that comes out. You never know with me. I'm always a loose cannon. But I just really wanted to stop and take a little bit of a tour with you guys and kind of talk about our progress over here and our inspiration and all that jazz. But I do want to thank you guys for stopping by. In case if you are new to the channel, my name is Leaf and it's so great to have you guys here. So Boggy Bottom is our Wetlands DLC kind of project. I started this in early access. Thank you so much again to Frontier for that. And it is currently our unmodded zoo, which I tend to run one of these about once at a time. And all our other projects do have mods, but this one has been so refreshing just to go in with base game, even though it has been challenging in a few places. It's so fun just to kind of do this in a whole new style. But you can pretty much tell what zoo I kind of base this entrance off of. In case if you guys are unaware, it is based off of the Akron Zoo entrance, located in Akron, Ohio, I want to say. And yeah, it just served as the perfect kind of building to welcome you in. Just because, I don't know, I felt like the angles in that building really do speak to the swampy kind of wetlands vibe that we have going on here. Sorry about that, sir. And I don't know, I just really did like it. And of course, you kind of enter yourself into this big old plaza over here. And I did originally have this be kind of like a compass rose. I will go back and do a more detailed one later down the line because I was kind of in a rush to build that one. But hopefully later down the line, I could actually upgrade this little plaza over here to include a lot more things like gift shops and stuff like that, maybe stalls, but we'll all figure that out when we actually do get there. But for now, we're going to continue over here to our Australia Outback Adventures section. Sorry, I'm going to mess up on these names. I don't have the map pulled up right next to me right now, unfortunately, but I will do that relatively soon. But making our way through here, we start to get our first glimpse at our big ol' habitat for dingoes over here. Hopefully the idea is to get a few implied aviaries as we kind of go throughout here. So I could definitely see some kookaburras, maybe some kingfishers kind of pop up, maybe even budgies, but for the time being, we just have our classical habitat animals in here, and you get your first glimpse into this beautiful, beautiful hillside over here. And I was so impressed by not the habitat in this one, but rather the natural surroundings for it, because I really did fall in love with this kind of like craggly, kind of like, you know, gravelly kind of hillside. And it just turned out so well in the end, and it looks so beautiful. And of course, you could get your first glimpses at the dingoes down there, but we'll get there when we get there. I am also hoping to do custom signs throughout this entire zoo. I do have the dingo one set up right here, and I'm very happy with how well that came out. Unfortunately, we don't really have too many stylized dingo signs, and the other ones were a little bit too big for this, so I'm using the road sign right there instead. Maybe I'll go back and do custom ones, but that's not really my cup of tea. But what is my cup of tea is doing some pretty dang good habitats. So that's what we have going on over here. We have the platypus habitat, and I'm very happy with how well this one came out. I was very excited to get building with the platypus because they are just such unique creatures. And again, this happens in every single time I do pop in here. They usually don't like to show themselves. I think they may have escaped. I'm not really sure. There used to be one like hiding in here. Yep, there's one. So we're actually going to tuck our friend Waru right over here because I want to actually see them making use of their habitat. But this one is very much based off of nature preserves more than zoos for platypi. Platypi, or is it platypuses? I really don't know. But yeah, this one is very much based off of nature preserves. I used to see like this beautiful image of this beautiful kind of walkway over a nice Australian swamp. And I was like, you know what? I kind of want to do something like that. Obviously, our platypus are very tiny compared to their exhibit, and that was just me kind of getting my bearings with this whole zoo, like, with all the vibes. And you know what? I'm pretty happy with it nonetheless. It is a little bit of a missed opportunity, because even from standing back here, they look so tiny. But they have a lot of other, like, you know, different options to kind of crawl around in. So they do have a little bit of a burrow over here, and we can check that out from our new explore mode, which is delicious. We also have leader sunshades up here, and these are going to be reoccurring throughout the entire park, so you'll see them kind of pop up every so often. But if we turn back around over here, we have these beautiful little walkways. Originally I wanted these to be kind of like nature treks, but I kind of reformatted them into dingo viewing areas just because I was so happy with how well this habitat came out, and I really wanted to use these as an opportunity to get guys kind of go off the beaten path and check out some very niche animals. So of course these are the frontier dingoes from the Australia pack. This entire zoo is based in Australia, of course, so we will have a relatively strong Australia section. I'm not really sure what we're going to have going in there forward, but I don't know, I'm just very happy with this. I really do like that little implied shed up there with a little bit of a ute up there. And from over here, you can kind of see that it kind of goes right into the river. But if we pop right into our habitat over here, don't worry, I own the zoo, so I'm able to do this. We could actually pop over here and see that we have a little bit of a dry moat, which actually separates the dingoes from the water over here. So they're more so deterred to not escape, which I think works exceptionally well. As you can already tell from my zoos, I don't like to build barriers. I really hate them, to be honest. Not only because they're kind of difficult to make, but also because I love seeing habitats integrated within natural landscaping the most. And that's something I always try and do. So I always am a fan of cliff sides, and I'm a big fan of these kind of dry moats. You'll see those happen a lot more in the Asia area. But we're just going to continue down here and check out our platypus underwater viewing before we circle back over to our Asia area, and then from there our Japan area. But over here you have a beautiful little shed for the platypus. It's nothing too crazy. I wanted it to feel kind of run down because that is kind of like what it would feel like, but you can pop your sit over here. Yeah, great choice of words. And check out our platypi kind of swimming around. I was so excited to use these new buoy enrichments. They seem really fun, and our platypus actually do interact with them relatively often, so it's just really great to have over there. And you get a really killer view into their habitat over here. If you are tall, you get to get a view of both the top and the bottom, which I think works pretty well. You can kind of crouch and stand a little bit taller over there. But that's about it right there. So furthermore, we have a few other things planned. I'm not sure if I'm going to do cassowary or koala. I'm probably going to, well, cassowary or red kangaroo. This one's going to be koala for sure because I love my koalas. But moving up from here, a saltwater crocodile exhibit is going to transition us in to reptile roundabout, which is going to be our entire crocodilian section. And we could also pop over there really quickly, just check this guy out. This is our spectacled cayman habitat. I really wanted to build for these guys. That is an insane voice crack right there. Because I wanted to get all the DLC animals done first and foremost. And these guys were just begging to have this beautiful modern exhibit put in. But you guys can check them out. They're very happy to be in here. You can see his little waddle right there. But yeah, I really wanted to have this section of the zoo be very modern. The style I kind of attribute this to is very Delay Designer, if you guys do watch her. I am a very big fan of how she frames her underwater exhibits, and I really want to do something like that over here. So it's just really awesome. Just to get good old views of your crocodilians and spectacled caimans kind of gliding through the water like that. I think that's so beautiful. And you can see them kind of pass each other right here. That looks insane. I don't know, I just really do like it. And the interior in here needs a little bit of work. I'm not really too sold with it so far. I think I may try and squeeze some exhibit boxes in here or something, but I do kind of like how open it feels on the top. It feels very nice, very breathable, and feels like a really, really artistic depiction of how beautifully you can frame the spectacled cayman, which in itself is a beautiful work of art. Check out like all the detail on that guy. He's beautiful. I also have a few other realism implied things over here, like with the vents over here. So essentially when the habitat does need to get drained, all the water can go down there to the lowest point. And we also have some stairs for keepers so that when the habitat does get drained, you're able to actually access that from over here. And we also have a little bit of interiors for our spectacled caymans as well. Not decorated, of course, because I'm too scared to do that, but we'll see that later down the line. I am a big fan of doing like these nice little open windows. I think that's such a nice, charming little element that gives the build a little bit more personality, and it brings the outside in as well. So I think that's very fun. I did the same thing over there, and I'll try and do that some more throughout the zoo. But we're going to circle back to our entrance plaza, because that's about it for the kind of unfinished areas. We still have one habitat in this main area that I have not done, but we'll get there when we actually do get there. But we're going to start on our Asia trek, and this one is one that I have fell in love with so much recently. And we start off beautifully with some proboscis monkeys. These guys are some of my favorite animals in the entire animal kingdom, and I just had to build for these guys once again. In case if you guys didn't remember, I did build for them back in the Southeast Asia pack came out. I unfortunately did not get much done with that because I really wasn't that inspired, and I really didn't have the following that I have right now. By the way, thank you guys so much. I love you guys so much. We just passed like 6,500 subscribers. You guys are the best. But yeah, I didn't really have the best following over there, so I really wasn't pressured enough to finish that build. But this one was so inspiring for me to do. So you can see we actually have another dry moat. Again, I really don't like barriers all that much, but being able to incorporate a dry moat kind of like this worked exceptionally well, because it gives you just a nice unobstructed view at the animals, and the animals a good nice unobstructed view of you too in those cases. But I really do love how well this habitat came out. It's nothing much for this one, but all the habitats together, and yes, multiple habitats for these guys, it really was so fun to put together. But we'll get there when we do get there. We will kind of make our way down here a little bit, and we do get our first glimpse at the Babirusa habitat. And again, this is where those dry moats really come into play, people. This is something that I love doing. So we pop over here, and since Babirusas aren't really the most apt at climbing over like rocky terrains, or really going over like, you know, water, for example, I really want to take advantage of that and have a nice unobstructed view once again at this very naturalistic looking exhibit. I really do love this. The Babirusa looks so beautiful in there, as opposed to their very ugly appearance in some cases. But I really do love these guys. And of course, since they are a very semi-aquatic animal, not really semi-aquatic, but they are adapted to kind of like, you know, swampy kind of areas, I really did want to include them over here. And they have a wonderful view with that. But we'll get to their actual viewing structure once we do get there. Before we do make it over there, however, we do need to stop right over here at our proboscis monkey underwater viewing. Now, in case if you guys aren't aware, proboscis monkeys actually do have webbed hands, which do allow them to swim a lot more efficiently in the water. Since they do live on Borneo, which is a very aquatic country, when you do look at like the natural geography of the habitats and like, you know, natural environments that they do come from, they are apt for swimming. Unfortunately, they're at one of their other habitats right now, which is something that is very common in realistic zoos, which I really do like about this place. But they really aren't really making the best use of their habitat, probably because they're kind of like staying around like that. So I'm just going to plop this guy right over here. Hopefully he can actually go for a little bit of a dip before we do take off. But it's just really awesome. And they're a lot smaller than you would think, which posed to be quite a bit of a challenge for this, because this entire habitat structure really is based off of the O-line, which is located in Washington, D.C., which is for orangutans, which are huge animals. But I really want to have them climb throughout multiple habitats, which is a little bit of a problem for lag. But I wasn't really too upset about that. I think I'll just do unbox all animals. And they kind of unbox themselves outside of their habitat, which is a little bit weird. But you know what? We'll kind of give that a pass. But yeah, they are able to climb in between 3 different habitats, and we'll get there when we get there. But I just want to show off another view at the Barbaroussa habitat. They have all the enrichment in the world that they could need. So we do have a little bit of a mud wallow right over there. And we do have a little bit of a scratching post right over there as well. It's just all wonderful for them. And I really do like it. It's turned out very nice in the end. Of course, this viewing structure really isn't like the most decorated. I kind of want to circle back and add a little bit of detail to this ground piece over here. But unfortunately, since these are all climbable pieces, and they connect throughout the entire zoo, really, and they connect over to these pieces as well, since the game honestly recalculates every single piece that you put down, it becomes extremely laggy to build in this area. So I will put that off for a little bit, but when I do get the patience on my side, I will circle back to that and kind of decorate that area a little bit more. It just proved to be quite a little bit of an issue over there. But if we take a little trip up here to this little bit of a ramp, we do get this beautiful Filipino-inspired viewing area. And I really love how well that came out. And it seems like my Filipino audience really did too. Love you guys so much. But no, this is our hoof stockyard. And this video actually did come out today, which is very fun to see how all you guys react to it. But yeah, it's just really fun to build in this kind of style. And I really just wanted to give the lechwe and water buffalo a nice big area for them to roam. So we do have a very inspired kind of like, you know, rice terrace over there using the new terrain tools, which came out very nicely. And we have this all settled on top of like nice wetlands for our animals to kind of like trot water in. So if we pop over here, maybe if we're lucky, we'll get to see them kind of like doing a little bath or something over there. But unfortunately, they're kind of sticking over to the land a little bit more. It seems like they have food over there, so maybe later we can catch them in there. But yep, there goes Tegid Camp kind of like freaking out a little bit. So we're just going to continue our tour a little bit and make our way to the Asian small-clawed otter exhibit. But along the way, we do get to visit a nice familiar friend. If we pop over here, we get a view into the second proboscis monkey habitat. This one is very much based off of the ruins of the neighboring exhibit over there for the Asian small-clawed otters. So we do have a little bit more stone structures happening over here, and I really do like it because of that. It feels a lot more formal in here, and I feel like it's a nice satellite habitat for them just to chill out in. It's a little bit more shady too, which I think they kind of like in case if they get a little bit tired, a little bit too hot. But no, these guys have a nice little habitat over here, and I really do love them for that. I really want to turn breeding on in this zoo relatively soon, but hopefully once I get all my animals in, so we could actually see all the animals interacting with their babies for the big old final tour. I'll have that all set up when I do get there. But no, I'm just very happy with how well all of this is turning out. It looks so beautiful as well. And just these beautiful climbing structures, which are made by, I have it right over here, I think it's G Luck, and we kind of called him Gluck. By the way, I built most of this in the live stream from a few days ago. I was able to live stream building the proboscis monkey habitat, so do check that out if you can. And of course, my dog wants to get out, so we're just going to look at some monkeys right now. I'm going to keep on talking so you guys stay entertained. But look at those monkeys go. They look really nice, guys. And there goes my dog. She is leaving the room. Totally professional leaf over here. You guys know how it is whenever you decide to enter this channel. But moving on through here, we have a few other things as well. I have these like kind of separated from the guests with these beautiful flower beds. You can probably tell where all these came from. I'm doing a little bit of curbing throughout the entire zoo, and I should probably talk about that as well. Curbing will definitely help you improve your building looks. Just because it makes it feel a lot more grounded, a lot more organized, and it's so worth it once you actually do start doing it, and it just looks incredible in the end, and it helps to frame everything so much more nicer. And there goes one of our proboscis monkeys over the O line. Well, I think we're going to call it the P line, because I think that's very funny. But yeah, here they come. I really do love seeing these guys make use of this, because they're so kinetic, they're so moving. so moving. Yeah, that's awesome. But no, they move a lot, which I think works really well for this species. While the O-lines really are more so for brachiating animals, you know, when brachiating, you hold the rope and then you swing yourself and then you hold the rope again. These guys more so kind of just run over things. While it is kind of made for those animals, it really is awesome just to see them make use of it. And also, I love proboscis monkeys, so I don't really care. We also have another habitat for these guys right here. Only one lady is in here, so that's nice. But no, just another satellite habitat for them. Turned out really nice in the end. I don't know. I really like it. Very simple. They have a few more enrichment items over here to keep them enthralled, I guess, in coming over here. And we also have the climb-proof barriers up there. Now, it's kind of ironic that they are made of climbable pieces, but this is essentially a way to keep animals off. So it is called hot wire, and it is constantly electrocuted, so animals don't really go onto it. And yeah, it's just standard zoo industry practice right over there. And there goes the lady. She's off to find somewhere else. But yeah, it's standard zoo industry process to kind of integrate that kind of stuff over there. And yeah, I just really do like it. But over here we also have one more, and I think I'm going to do this live with you guys. I just need to get a proboscis monkey kind of thing going on over here. And of course the dog wants to come back in here, which is always great. Wish she would make up her mind sometimes. But I will add that over there. And while that actually does load, this is perfect. I'm going to open my door for my dog again. This is probably going to happen like 50 times throughout this entire thing. But no. So essentially, the game was kind of recalculating where all the pieces were, what is climbable, and it still kind of is, so that's great. But hopefully that will entice our monkeys to kind of come over to this one as well, because I feel like having them kind of look down on the Japanese area would be really fun. But before we get into the Japanese area, we have one more friend to get into, and that is our Asian small-clawed otter. And luckily, all of our animals are in the pool right now, so that's going to be really fun to see. But yeah, this is an Asian small-clawed otter exhibit, very much based off of National Zoo. Not only National Zoo's Asian small-clawed otter habitat, but their North American river otter as well. And yeah, they do have two, which I think is pretty cool. But yeah, it's just a very nice naturalistic habitat. That's usually what I like to see. And I really do love this because it constantly has water flowing throughout the entire exhibit, and there's always water for the Asian small-clawed otters to explore. So we do come up here to another viewing area, and you can see a lot of different views into this habitat through here. Unfortunately, they aren't making use of their other pool right now, which they don't really do that because it doesn't have that many flowing water in there. Not sure if that really affects it at all, but I think that still works pretty well. And of course, I kind of fell down there. But yeah, I just really do love this habitat because you get some good vistas. And I also love this viewing structure over here. It feels very nice and like nestled in the woods. But no, you get some really good viewing opportunities through here. Not only at the otters, which, you know, they're kind of popping off over there, but you also get some awesome sight lines of our proboscis monkeys. And unfortunately, they really aren't moving all that much over there. But I really do love how well it came out, and it's just really awesome just to have the towers over there alone. But, of course, our last stop on the tour brings us to Japanese pop, which is our little section dedicated to pop culture of Japan and how animals have really affected that. So we're going to start off in the Edo period by taking a left. So this is going to bring us to our red-crowned cranes, and I'm so excited to show these off to you guys because this is probably one of my favorite sections I've ever built, and it came off so inspiring. So of course this is very heavy on the wood architecture, and I do have a lot of blueprints of these on my workshop currently, and it's just really awesome to have all of that in there. So of course the red-crowned cranes have been popular all throughout Japan's history, but I kind of marked the 1800s as a very significant time for this animal because that's when like logos were coming out, that's when all the branding was using the red-crowned cranes, and they just turned out so beautiful, especially in artwork too. Now, I do have these beautiful torii gates kind of set up with the, I believe it is, hold on, let me just actually show it off for you guys. It is going to be that waterfall structure, I guess. I don't really know how you call it, but I really just wanted to hide that in there so we could get their cool animations of them like flapping their wings. Unfortunately, they are not really doing it right now, which is kind of sad, but this habitat is still pretty dang nice even without that. It just gives you some really awesome views at these guys, and they're just so beautiful. I remember everyone was kind of pissed at the red crown crane at first, because everyone thought, oh yeah, it's just a flamingo clone, but no, it looks so beautiful in the end. And I really do love their habitat. It's so inspired with like all of the fir trees in the back, even though, you know, they probably wouldn't grow in tropical Australia. I still wanted to include them nonetheless, because it does feel like those temperate to tropical rainforests that you oftentimes get in Japan, and that's oftentimes some of the native habitats of these guys. So I really wanted to have that going on throughout the entire exhibit. And this is very much based off of Japanese onsens and the kind of architecture that goes into them. It's going to be very much like that self-care kind of vibe throughout here. So we do have this beautiful staff building over here with this wood over here. Again, all of like the pieces to build these are on the workshop, so you guys can check that out. But it just came out so nice, and I really do love like the looks of that. Once we actually do get our friends the Japanese macaques all settled in here, it's going to be such a nice section, and it'll probably be one of my favorites in the end of it all. But we kind of make our way right through here. And if I can turn the actual camera, we do find our good friends, the capybaras, which have been very popular since around the 80s, but I'm kind of nailing the 2020s as a very good renaissance for the popularity of these particularly rascally rodents in Japan, and I really do like it. So kind of moving on through here, we can see that they have very much the biggest spa kind of vibe in here, and you can see them already making use of their hot spring water. So I kind of do have these set up with the little vents in between so that the water does get refreshed and stuff like that. It gets heated back up. This guy's kind of sinking into the ground, don't really know why. I guess I can't really move him anywhere. I guess he has habitat boundary issues. Listen buddy, so do I. But no, I really do love this, specifically because of this little bridge over here. And you can see I really tried my best to integrate the mulch path into this build as much as possible by making use of all the decals that we did get within the European DLC. And we kind of have that kind of like meshing really nicely into the rest of the habitat. I do love how that looks in the end. And again, another backstage building for all these guys back there. It looks pretty nice. But what I really do love about this habitat is this section down here, which just gives you a nice underwater viewing at all these guys. Unfortunately, they don't really swim all that often. I think that's more so a behavior issue because they are able to access this. They don't really access it all that much though, which kind of sucks, but it just looks so nice and it feels so cozy in here that I'm so happy with how well this came out. It's probably my favorite habitat in this entire section, really. But yeah, that's about it for over there. And that's about it for Boggy Bottom so far. Have these guys gone back in the water yet? No, they haven't. But yeah, that's about it for where our zoo is now. We still have a lot to go up there, so the zoo should probably be done in about a month's time. We will put it on the workshop right afterwards. I am hoping to have like a nice big cafe over here, hopefully in the same style as our entrance, so we could bring that architecture back in over there. So that'll be really fun to integrate. But yeah, over here I have the blueprints all set up so you guys can do your own kind of O lines or slash P lines. And you also have a bunch of other kind of architecture in here as well. So we do have these from like the Asian water buffalo habitat. We do have these from the Japan set. We have these from the Asia. We have the curbs and barriers. We have some nice little fences and stuff like that from the Asian section as well. All a bunch of really useful blueprints, and hopefully I can make even more going forward, even a custom solar panel. I love how well that came out. But I really do love how well this came out, and I can't wait for you guys to play around with it. But be sure to stay tuned for anything else that this zoo does have. I'm so happy with the zoo so far, and I'm so happy that you guys are enjoying it. The first episode actually reached like 7,500 views, which is huge for a speed build series for me. Usually the mod showcases usually get a lot, but this series has been doing so good, and I'm so excited to see that you guys are loving each and every episode that comes out. Even the spectacled cayman habitat, I didn't think much of that. I thought that was gonna flop, but no, you guys dug that. But anyways, guys, we're going to end it right there. I'm trying to find like a good view for us to end on. Let's end it right here because this looks so complete. But I think I'm going to stop it there, and thank you guys so much for watching. Of course, be sure to check out the rest of the speed builds in this series if you guys do want to check those out. We've been working on this for quite some time, and it's easily one of my favorite projects that I've ever done. So I do want to thank you guys one last time for stopping by. In case if you guys are new here, be sure to subscribe. Oh my god, welcome to the leaf pile, in case if that is your first thing that you did today, because you guys are more than welcome in here. But all that being said, I should probably end it right here because it's about 30 minutes right now. So I'll see you guys all in the next video. Take care and have the most wonderful of wonderful days. Bye-bye now.